Good here, of course. I give it a few minutes. Okay. So welcome to the Wrestling Pod. I'm your host, Carlito Santiago. And today we're here to talk about what went down at BackLash. At BackLash. At BackLash. At BackLash. At BackLash. Yeah, people keep making that sound good. Now, I want to just go out on a limb here and say that I was wrong. This event was actually pretty fucking good. But I was right about a couple things. You know, we had some hiccups. WWE delivered its latest premium live event, BackLash, on Saturday from Tampa, Florida's Benchmark International Arena, headlined by a blockbuster, the World Heavyweight Championship Showdown. Roman Reigns, the champion, going up against Jacob Fatu. We opened up with Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker. Now, I'm not going to show you this because I feel like I want to make it a little different. You know, okay, Raw, SmackDown summaries. I will show you the Bleacher Report. But for here, I'm going to read to you what I have for Bleacher Report while you see my face. Seth Rollins wasted no time unleashing months of frustration on Braun Breaker to kick off Saturday's BackLash, launching an offense before the bell, then diving through the ropes and around the ring to keep the badass off kilter. Breaker halted his opponent's momentum, catching him mid-flight and tossing him around the squared circle before grounding him, looking to utilize his strength and size advantage to overwhelm the visionary on the mat. When Rollins mounted a comeback, the second-generation competitor blasted him with a clothesline to drive him back down. A blind charge for a ringside spear saw the heel eat a super kick, and the babyface created the necessary space to mount an offense. Rollins set Breaker up for a stomp, but distracted him by blowing a kiss to Paul Heyman at ringside, allowing his opponent to thwart his finishing. There was this is awesome chant as the action spilled to the outside. There, Breaker delivered a jumping clothesline from the ring apron to the opponent and over the commentary table, which looked great. Now, the Architect, of course, recovered and attempted to do a superplex Falcon Arrow combination, but Breaker was the one who countered and hit the Falcon's Arrow on his own for a 2 count. Late on, Rollins thoughted a third Breaker Steiner by landing on his feet and appeared to have a victory in hand. However, a distraction from Heyman and then interference from Logan Paul and Austin Theory, but none from Bronson Reed. None at all. This gave way to a spear from the badass. The resilient 6-time world champion kicked out at 2. Rollins countered another spear with a pedigree. This pays homage to Triple H and Seth Rollins back at WrestleMania 33. Unfortunately, Bleacher Report has it wrong, saying that it was Roman Reigns versus Triple H at WrestleMania 36, even though they did not wrestle each other at WrestleMania 36. They wrestled each other the year after. Or, sorry, not the year after, but the WrestleMania before WrestleMania 33, which was 32. But it was not enough to earn him the win. Breaker caught a mid-leap Rollins with a spear for the win. Graded a B+. Now, again, I thought this first match was delightful, was interesting. Not going to lie, probably the best match by far other than Roman and Jacob. But this was probably the best match to open the show with, and I knew they were going to do that. So we can move forward. The U.S. Championship is on the line next. And before I move on to the U.S. Championship, Braun Breaker is going to become a star, ladies and gentlemen. He is. He's going to become a star. Whether he wins the Money in the Bank briefcase, he could do that. Like, I think Braun Breaker might win the Money in the Bank briefcase this year. With all the other talent, with Ethan Page, Ricky Starks, like Ricky Sainz, Royce Keys, like they got a lot of people from AEW. I'm just naming some people though. But they got a lot of talent that they can fucking, push to the moon with this one. With Money in the Bank coming up after SummerSlam. It's perfect. So Braun Breaker is going places. Trick Williams took on Sami Zayn for the U.S. title. Defending U.S. champion Trick Williams started Saturday's WrestleMania rematch hot, taking the fight to the disingenuous Sami Zayn, but found himself on the defensive soon after the Grizzly vet used his energy against him. Williams utilized a jumping neckbreaker to down his challenger, then caught him with an axe kick, which is a law to Booker T. Five time, shucky ducky quack quack, motherfucker. And downed him as chance of whoop that trick Bill. Yup. He drove Zayn into the mat within arranging basically a spine buster, but could only keep him down for 2. When he took the fight to the ropes, though, the underdog from the underground countered his superplex attempt with a sunset flip powerbomb for 2. Williams caught a charging Zayn with a boot to the face, but fell prey to the Blue Thunder Bomb for a 2 count. Sami Zayn attempted to springboard moonsault, but landed on his feet and appeared to suffer a knee injury, only to reveal it was a ruse. From there, the heel capitalized on an inadvertent distraction from Lil Yachty and blasted the champion with a kendo stick, but still could only keep Williams down for 2. Yachty delivered payback moments later, blasting Zayn with the same kendo stick, but Williams was unable to capitalize. The heel unloaded on the rapper, beating him down at ringside and striking him with the cane, only to eat a clothesline from Williams on the ring steps. Zayn recovered with a DDT onto the steps as the match progressed. He added a haluva kick to Yachty on the floor to a thunderous chorus of boos. Back inside, Williams dodged another kick from his opponent, and of course would deliver the trick shot to successfully retain his title. It's graded a B-. Honestly, Lil Yachty has proved more of an asset than Travis Scott was during his brief flirtation with WWE. There's no denying Zayn's status as a heel now, especially after feigning a knee injury and using the cane to his advantage. So yeah, I mean, most of this match was really great. Don't get me wrong. Sami Zayn is going to be a heel for quite a while, which is great. Nice thing on SmackDown. Could be next for Cody Rhodes, if we can build up Sami Zayn for that. Get him out of there. Give him a nice little push to the World Championship as a heel, because he can do it. And I hope Sami Zayn wins the world title next year. Let's move on down to Danhausen and his mystery partner versus The Miz and Kit Wilson. Yeah. Because I'm a true, real man. So, Danhausen produced a mini clone of himself on Saturday to combat The Miz and Kit Wilson. Yes, known as Minihausen. Now, I want to be very clear. I've heard a lot of things about this, and I want to tell you who Minihausen was really played by, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't remember, if you weren't watching WWE around the 2014 area, 2015, 2016 maybe area, 2014, 2015 primarily. If you weren't watching around that time, look up a tag team called Primo and Epico. Now, you're not going to find them in 2015 or 20. You're not going to find them in 2014 or 2015. What you will find are masked luchadors known as Los Matadores, or, well, as what we know, the Matadors. And you would know that they had a little matador known as El Torito. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the little person who played El Torito was actually the person who played Minihausen here, a AAA star. Yes, El Torito played Minihausen in this combat against The Miz and Kit Wilson. So, Minihausen dominated the action early, keeping the heels off guard. However, Miz sent Danhausen into the ring post and seized control of the match and gave the heels some heat. Minihausen fought from underneath, showing guts and resilience, before delivering a moonsault to Wilson and making the hot tag to his partner. Danhausen exploded into the match and delivered a German suplex to Wilson. He added a DDT to The Miz as the babyfaces built momentum. Wilson fought Minihausen up the aisle and threw him back into the crate he arrived in, only for a special little lightning to bring about the arrival of the Minihausens from WrestleMania. You know, the ones that carried The Miz off of TV, like the fucking Oompa Loompas did to, or the squirrels did to that little girl in the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Not the Oompa Loompas, but the little squirrels, you know, in the remake 2005. Fun times. Wilson turned Minihausen's curse back on him by the way of the mirror. Yes, that's going to come back later, probably, moving forward. The Miz nearly beat him with the skull crushing finale. Give me a moment. Oh shit. Oh damn. Hold on. It's okay. All right. Wilson turned Minihausen's curse back on him by the way of a mirror. Mind you, that's gonna, like I said, that's gonna come back later in the future. So it's gonna come back way later in the future. And the Miz nearly beat him with a skull-crushing finale, only for Danhausen to break up the pin. The hijinks continued, and Miz accidentally blinded himself with a fire extinguisher. What a fucking idiot! And Danhausen picked up the win with his for his team after hitting a. Oh God, what the fuck? I forget what the fuck he hit, but he just pinned him. He won. C plus. Now again, the reaction to Danhausen's partner was less than authentic. Again, I mean, I was expecting Jelly Roll to pop out in a Danhausen mask or somebody like with wearing Danhausen gear, which would have been funny. But for this was hilarious. And Danhausen was hilarious. To sell it as some big surprise and then have a little person walk out and then him look down at and then look up at the camera and be like, shit. I fucked up again. Right? That's as funny as R-Truth talking to himself. I mean, little Jimmy. He's talking to little Jimmy, ladies and gentlemen. Talking to little Jimmy. Little Jimmy, you motherfucker. All right. I just kicked little Jimmy. What are you going to do about it? Next up, we saw two Japanese wrestlers wrestle, if that's what you want to call it. We want Kairi chants spilled from the stands as Io Sky locked up with Asuka to start this match. A reminder to the WWE of the audience's displeasure over the central figure in the rivalry's untimely release. Sky's early success was thought when the Empress of Tomorrow cut off a springboard attempt and sent her opponent's head and neck into the ring apron. The babyface absorbed Asuka's attack, weathering the storm and creating a separation by rolling through and delivering a double stomp to drive the win out of the heel. Later, with both combatants exhausted, the Empress caught Sky in the Asuka lock, but the babyface broke free with a modified stunner. How the fuck? Asuka recovered and applied a cross armbar. Sky fought out and applied an Asuka lock of her own, forcing the heel on the defensive. Asuka brought herself a reprieve and sent her former protege head into the ring post. Sky answered though with an uppercut and tried for a top rope hurricanrana, but the Empress countered into a sunset flip for two. Outside of the ring, Asuka tried for a suplex on the commentator's table, but Sky blocked when the villainous attempt to blind her opponent using the blue mist. The babyface used Wade Barrett's notebook to catch it and then send her rival face first into the table. Back into the ring, Sky tried for the over the moonsault, but Asuka moved. She got her opponent in a triangle hold, then applied the Asuka lock. It appeared as though the babyface was losing consciousness, but she quickly countered into a pinfall for two. Sky then delivered the bullet train, which he had done earlier, but then added the over the moonsault for the victory. After the match, Sky and Asuka shared a tearful embrace, with the Empress of Tomorrow putting her former student over. Again, to give it an A+ feels like we're saying that Asuka's career is solidified. It's done completely. No, I don't want to believe that. But if it is, it is. And you know what? She's done a lot. So yeah, retire. I made fun of her for being older, being 40-something years old and still wrestling. There's still wrestlers out there who are 40-something years old and still wrestling. So again, I'm not going to discriminate against age, but age when it comes to wrestling also matters with the fact of health. Asuka to me seems like she's in pretty good health still, so she could keep going. Therefore, I'm knocking this down to a B+ because I don't think it reached that height, entirely. Could I be nice and say maybe an A? Sure, I can knock it down to an A if you'd like. If this is Asuka's last match, though, if this is Asuka's last match, sure, I'll bump it up to an A. But as far as I'm concerned, this is a B+ match at best. So, again, leaving things open. John Cena's foundation shaking announcement. This one is definitely getting an A because anything John Cena says at this point after being retired is done. John Cena hit the ring to make his much hyped foundation shaking announcement. After recapping the superstars who had their first taste of the main event roster at Saturday Night Main Event last December, including Sol Ruca, Javon Evans, and Oba Femi, who of course are now on the main roster. He announced a brand new event, the John Cena Classic, featuring stars of the main roster squaring off with future stars from NXT. On top of that, it will crown the first John Cena Classic champion. Furthermore, the WWE Universe will have the opportunity to voice itself and crown the champion, meaning a wrestler who loses their match can still be crowned champion if the fans appreciate their hustle. He thanked WWE and the fans and then introduced the main event. So, yeah, graded an A, and this is pretty worth it. Now, I'm not okay with the John Cena Championship being added because we don't need no more fucking championships. We're already fucking good enough. But having a John Cena Classic, almost like the Dusty Rhodes Classic, sure, you know what? I fucking like it. I don't even think they do the Dusty Classic anymore. Yeah, they don't even do the Dusty Classic anymore, as far as I know. But again, this was fucking great to have a John Cena Classic. I like it. And they should do it for every Saturday Night Main Event. You know how great that would be? Or King of the Ring. Ooh. See, there you go. You got tournaments now. You got a pay-per-view solidified for a tournament like that. So he's doing a John Cena Classic. I like this, though. In a tournament style, perfect. Love it. Roman Reigns took on Jacob Fatu. The World Heavyweight Champion Roman Reigns came prepared to defend his title against Jacob Fatu in a family civil war main event. But the Tribal Chief found himself looking for answers early as the Samoan Werewolf had answers for everything his cousin threw at him. Chants of Fatu rained down from the stands, appreciative of the defiance he has shown in the face of the champion's offensive onslaught. When the Tribal Chief rocked him with a Superman punch, he kicked out at 2 and then proceeded to drag the champion to the arena floor when he powerbombed Reigns through the table. That's insane. Fatu waited too long and nearly paid for it as the champion caught him charging in with a spear. When he tried for another, though, the challenger caught him with a Samoan drop and finished with a double jump moonsault for a near fall. Reigns nursed his right knee, then traded hard rights with Fatu, culminating with the pair of running hip attacks. The Samoan Werewolf applied the Tongan death grip and nearly put Reigns out, but the head of the table fought out and backed his cousin into the referee. Another exchange of blows, another Superman punch, and another spear, and another 2 count. Nothing got him down. A tussle between champion and challenger included Reigns removing the top turnbuckle pad. He had sent Fatu head first into the exposed metal, delivered a final spear for the tainted victory. But this is only going to get an A, simply because of the overbooking. Let's talk about the overbooking here. After the match, Fatu obliterated Reigns with another Tongan death grip, attacking all the WWE officials and referees who attempted to stop him, and ended the night by looking into the camera and repeating, "I told him." The show went off the air with Fatu seething and standing tall and announcing his place at the top of the WWE card to the world. This match, fucking awesome. Okay? I had to go back and watch it. That's how fucking awesome it was. To even throw Adam Pearce out the ring, too. So, you know that Adam Pearce is going to find Jacob Fatu heavy. Anyway. I'm not giving the Oscar MVP. We're not here about that. We're here to constantly talk about this. The final grade. It's graded an A. But I'm going to give it an A as well. This was the most consistent WWE show in months with quality across the card. Now, I did say that this would be a forgettable Backlash. And still will be. But to say that it won't be memorable is an understatement. There was something for everyone, from the elevation of badasses to the showcase of women's wrestling excellence to the topome of sports entertainment, courteous of Danhausen, The Miz, and the great Kate Wilson. Did everything truly noteworthy happen? No, but in terms of in-ring work, storyline continuity, and everything delivering as expected, this was a big thumbs up, and so it shall be. Let me know what you guys think about Backlash 2026 in the comments down below. Don't forget to subscribe and drop a like and turn on those post notifications so you never miss a stream. Now, I also want to say this because it's important. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers, every mother, living or deceased. I'm proud to have a mother that loves and cares about me as much as I love and care about her. So to all the mothers, thank you for what you do. Thank you for being the women's in our lives that show us how to become the men that we are supposed to be when our fathers cannot provide that expertise. Thank you. I will see you guys on Tuesday. Peace.